Hey guys, Patrick Johnston, managing broker, co-owner of Dominican Life, your real estate company here in the Dominican Republic. I was thinking, because I'm on the way to one of our lawyer offices today, right now actually, and I thought I'd give you a sort of another update, because this is things that you always need to know when you're buying and selling property in the DR. In this situation, I'm going to assist the seller right now in the final closing and details for the sale of their property. So I wanted to give you an idea. We've always described what it costs a buyer in terms of what expenses they go through. And typically, just to remind you, legal fees for a buyer are typically 1 to 1.5% of the purchase price as the labor fees or legal fees for their service. And that includes all the incidentals. And in addition to that, you have 3% deed transfer tax to transfer the assignment from one to the other. That's a government fee. and then separate to that, annually, property tax at 1%. Above a value roughly $140,000 US in property value. Beyond that is 1%. Below that is 0. Now that's for the buyers. Now there's exceptions, because there was a tax-free program with some new developments here in the Dominican Republic that eliminate the 3% deed transfer tax and eliminate the property taxes, but that's a separate issue. But today I wanted to talk to you about really the seller. So if a seller is selling, the typical fees are different because it's mostly weighted on the buyer and very little weighted on the seller. So sellers typically will pay incidental fees. So not a percentage, but incidental fees. So if you're selling a property, let's call it a villa here in the Dominican Republic, and you have either a superintendent, live-in superintendent, a gardener, a maid, whatever they are as full-time employees in your villa, that's not unheard of. The lawyer will prepare typically the termination documents for the employee and do it on a legal basis using the proper paperwork to ensure that you're not offside as the owner of the property, so you bring your closing to a natural ending. Because with employees here in the Dominican Republic, they have a monthly salary and benefits. But when you release an employee, you have to pay liquidation, which is literally like it's a fee to terminate, and it's a calculation. It's like a severance payment, and that is by law required in the Dominican Republic. And there's a website and calculation to find that. So the lawyer does it on your behalf, and then coordinates to have that employee sign and do all that correct stuff so that you're not offside. That's very, very important. In addition to that, you may have things like the wrapping up of any association fees if you're in a residential community, just to get that all straightened up and organized. The completion of property taxes on a prorated basis, so that is done. So a lot of these little incidentals pay for those bits and pieces, but it's not a percentage. The example today, this seller, the total of all of that is like $1,100. And in that example, it's about a $400,000 property, and the incidentals work out to be that amount. So as you know, again, as I mentioned, it's more heavily weighted on the buyer for all of the fees and charges in real estate sales. And it's very similar that way to North America, because you don't pay a deed transfer tax as a seller, and the legal fees are more intensive on the buyer. But other than that, you always need to use a legitimate and reputable lawyer here in the country. You're going to use us as your real estate company, most likely. I appreciate that. And between us as a professional real estate team and the professional lawyer, we will ensure that both the entire process is taken care of in a very timely manner so that you can bring a good closing to your investment here in the DR. Yeah, that's pretty well it. So I'm Patrick Johnston, managing broker, co-owner, Go Dominican Life. We're here at the lawyer's office right now, so we're going to go in and take care of the paperwork. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.